Hi guys, welcome along to Off Script Extra Time, another edition, and we're building up to a monster fight this weekend. It is UFC 229, it's Khabib Nurmagomedov taking on Conor McGregor. We're looking forward to it.
We certainly are, and we've recruited a heavyweight to talk through it with us. Tam Khan, founder of TK MMA and Fitness. Tam, great to have you with us. You're part of Gokhan Saki's coaching staff as well. I've got to ask the first obvious question. Is this the biggest fight in UFC history?
Yeah, for me, and I think all critics will say for sure, it's the biggest fight, and I think it's going to break all pay-per-view records, for sure.
Wow, and you've got to an extent tip your cap to Conor, because he's been out of the game in the Octagon for 2 years. He had last fought Eddie Alvarez back in November of 2016. Over a year now since he fought Floyd Mayweather in a boxing ring. He's picked the toughest possible opponent. He hasn't shirked the challenge. He's coming off a long layoff, but he's up against an absolute monster. Yeah,
I mean, who would have thought he'd take Khabib on after such a long break, 2 years out? You'd probably get a warm-up fight or someone a bit lower ranked, but he's gone for the best, he's gone for the champion. And it just goes to show that they've had one press conference for this fight. No media, no world tour, and it's already the most highly anticipated fight in history. That shows Conor's star power without a doubt. I mean, he's such a mega star. He's more like a pop star now since the Mayweather fight. I think he's brought in celebrities and different kind of demographics into the UFC, which is going to make this fight break all records for sure.
Stylistically, Tam, you look at both men, they match up beautifully. We often say it's the old maxim, isn't it, that styles make fights. Give us a breakdown. How do you see this fight going in the small hours of Sunday morning?
I mean, look, they're both each other's kryptonite. You've got the best grappler by far I've ever seen in MMA history, Khabib. I mean, he's 26-0. We have no weakness of him. He hasn't even lost it around. Let alone lose in a fight. He hasn't lost it around. He hasn't been dropped. He hasn't been rocked. He's so good that we look at little mistakes. He hasn't finished someone and we're trying to criticize that. That's how good he is. Then you've got Conor, who's got that left like sniper missile, and everyone says, is he just talk? Is he that? But like he says, he backs it up. So you've got both of them have got a style which is bad for the other guy. You know?
The naysayers for Khabib, Tam, would say yes, he's had 10 straight wins in the lightweight division, but who's he faced? What would you say to them?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, sometimes like he fought Barboza, who's a very devastating striker. He's not a champion, but sometimes these guys are hungrier than the champions. Yeah. I mean, it's all about the day on the fight. So Alaquint is another dangerous guy. I mean, he's beat Rafael dos Anjos, who was the lightweight champion, who Conor was supposed to fight. I think he pulled out due to injury. And then I think he was replaced with Diaz. I think that was a Diaz fight. So, I mean, everyone he's fought, I think he just obliterated them. And that's what everyone's kind of criticism will be of him. But Mike Tyson had the same. Anthony Joshua will be getting the same. When you're that good and you're a champion, there's nothing to pick on, so you'll say the opponents are not good. But now he's stepping up. I mean, this is a big test. Who is the king of the division? Who is the king of the UFC?
Conor's taken the challenge on full on, as he always does. He's made proclamations. I think before the Alvarez fight, he made some declarations. He embarrassed Eddie Alvarez. He knocked out Jose Aldo in, what, 13 seconds. He said he's going to maul Khabib. How's he going to win this fight? Is it by hitting Khabib as he comes forward to try and take him down? How do you expect this to play out round by round?
Yeah, I think Conor has been watching all Khabib's fight, and he studied mainly the last fight against Alaquinta, where Khabib was a bit tentative, I think because of the stress of the week before. There was about 3 opponent changes and the whole bus incident.
That we won't get into now.
We won't get into now. So I think with Khabib's strategy, he's very far on. He's like a Lamborghini, like a truck coming at you. He doesn't stop. Every fight he comes out, bell goes, he runs to his opponent, hits a few shots, takedown. With Conor, that's not the good strategy to take. Conor's a counter puncher. He can sit back. He's like a sniper. So I think he's anticipating Khabib walking into one of these lefts, kind of stunning him or dropping him to the floor, even knocking him out, and then that will reverse the tables. Let's see how Khabib deals with adversity.
Give us your take on body language. I know body language is an awful lot. I know we as fight fans like to read body language and look into what these fighters are doing. In that press conference, that one and only press conference they've had thus far, Khabib looked, to me, a little bit more relaxed. I know some people would say he's looked nervous. Conor looked to me as if it was a charade, as if it was an act. You're reading into that?
Yeah, Conor's Conor. I mean, people are saying Conor was a bit over the top this time and maybe he's nervous. I don't think so. I think Conor, that's his game. Khabib's always he's from that kind of culture where they're very passive, they're very relaxed, well-mannered. So he's always like that. But Khabib he knew he could never win the verbal with Conor. You're not going to win it. So Also, English is his second language. It's not his first. So for him to get into a tirade and not know English very well, he's going to look silly. So I think he took the advice of his coach and thought, I'll sit quiet, let him talk, and then Conor just went crazy. But I think why it was more effective, there was no fans there. So for us, it was more shocking.
Yeah.
It was just silent in a studio or like a little auditorium. So for us, it was more effective. Whereas if there's fans, people interfering, boos, chants, it wouldn't have been as effective as it was.
Yeah, fair.
Got to ask about the mental side of things with Conor coming back. After the long layoff, he made reportedly over $100 million fighting Floyd Mayweather. It's very difficult to get up in the morning, let alone prepare to fight Khabib, when you've got $100 million sat in the bank. Is he, or is that going to soften him? Because you can't escape that. Mentally, for him to prepare to face this challenge, he's going to have to be as sharp as he's ever been. Will he be, having been out for so long and being so well rewarded now?
I think so. I think at the end of the day, he's a fighter. I mean, with Conor, every fight, if you look at his background, he doesn't budge or avoid anyone, which is rare in that level. When a guy comes to become champion, I know Mayweather had a lot of slack for picking opponents when they're older or choosing how to go out. I mean, he picked Conor for his 50th fight, which is an MMA fighter. Yeah. Conor doesn't turn down the fight. I mean, people change opponents. He'll go up a weight, he'll go down a weight. So I don't think that. I think he'll be hungry, and I think with the whole bus incident and the hype of Khabib being such a Terminator, Conor's like, no, I want to be the man. It's more of an ego thing. Yeah. I don't think it's about money. I really believe Conor wants to prove himself as number one. And for sure, Khabib's the same.
You mentioned there, Tam, he doesn't shirk a challenge, does Conor? And I was shocked when this fight was announced. The fact after a 2-year layoff, he's gone for the top dog in UFC, arguably one of the pound-for-pound best, the lightweight champion. What about those that say, though, that he's not defended a title, that he isn't a great champion, Conor McGregor, because he hasn't defended a title? What do you say to those?
Yeah, I understand the point as well. He holds up divisions. Other fighters are all fighting for interim belts, which really are kind of like paper belts. Yeah. But at the same time, I think he's, for the UFC, such a megastar. You can't keep him there. You cannot keep him with a number 2, number 3 contender no one knows. When you've got such a powerful star, and to get that kind of demographic of like every viewer, I mean, we're doing a whole podcast, a vlog on him. So that shows his pulling power. Where have we done that before in the UAE on any MMA fight? No one knows. But Conor, you can go to 1 in 3 people that know him. So you need to utilize this tool. So if there's a super fight in a welterweight division, heavyweight division, like, you've got to take it. I mean, it sells tickets. Either way, they'll say Conor's going up. Can he be the first double champ? So it's like Mayweather was in boxing. You need to only set up super fights now. He's too big for these defences.
I got to ask, it was a great tweet that I saw that was comparing Conor to Al Pacino in Scarface. Just before he gets shot in the back with a Tommy gun at the press conference. He's a deluded gazillionaire about to face his demise. Did you get that sense that maybe he's underestimating Khabib a little? Maybe, he's so absorbed, his ego is now so gigantic that he'll walk into this fight maybe not as prepared as he needs to be?
No, I think that was all calculated. He knows, he respects Khabib, you can tell, and he knows how good Khabib is. He knows. That's why his only strategy is, if you see no kind of like weaknesses in someone physically, the only way to get them is mentally. So he's thinking, okay, Khabib's always calm, he's always the smiling, brash guy in his conferences. Let me tick something which has not been touched. Let me kind of play with something, and that's what he's doing. And he thinks if I do this and I push it and I get verbal in the religious or culture aspects, maybe Khabib will be aggressive, want to come and kill me, and that's walking into my game.
From a UFC perspective, Tam, not so much from a fan, let's look at it from a purely business point of view. Dana White, who does he want to win on Sunday? Khabib to protect that unbeaten record, Conor McGregor to make an announcement that he is back?
Okay, I mean, for sure, I think he wants Conor McGregor because he brings the most money. I mean, if you look at Khabib's pay-per-views before this, I don't think they'll even reach nowhere near 500,000. Nowhere near. Maybe 100, 200. Even though he's the best fighter on the planet, McGregor brings a big income to UFC. So all the bosses want Conor to win. It's not about picking sides who they like. It's business. So obviously he'll be wanting Conor to win. That's why even with the bus incident, there was no suspension from the UFC. There was no ban. There was no kind of red card. There was nothing. You put any other fighter to do that, he'd be banned.
Losing the Nate Diaz fight did not slow Conor down. It did not slow his meteoric rise down. He took a rematch, he won the rematch, he came back, and his star continued to rise. Who needs this fight more? Is it Khabib or is it Conor?
I believe Khabib, but if Khabib does, for example, for heaven's sake, just destroy Conor in one round, picks him up, drops him, takes an arm, taps him, then the question will be, is Conor another Ronda Rousey? Yeah. That will come up.
Yeah.
So
and is he aware of that? Is Conor aware of that?
He's going to be aware of that. If Khabib destroys him and makes it look easy, doesn't sweat and walks off and smiles, that looks like it's a guy playing with a kid, you know? Like a
Does that finish Conor in the UFC?
It'll be the critics will get to him. Is he Ronda? Is he that? Then that could. So he's got a chance. He's got a risk as well. If he loses and he comes out blazing, he's still going to be a millionaire. He's still got the Diaz fight. He's still got this and that. Everyone wants to fight Conor because he sells tickets. But if Khabib loses, then it's like, was he hype? Was he that good? So Khabib has more pressure, for sure. But Conor still has a lot too.
There's a lot of hypotheses there, Tam, and we've got to drill this down. Come Sunday morning, 8 a.m. here in the UAE, around about that time, give or take 10 minutes or so. What are you expecting? Give us a prediction. Conor McGregor, the unbeaten Russian machine that is Khabib Nurmagomedov. Who's going to win this one?
I think it's not going to be like we think. I think it's going to be a war. I think they're going to just come out and you're going to see Khabib a bit out of his game plan, exchange with Conor. My heart is with Khabib. I'd like to see a new champion. I'd like to see him be dominant. I think Conor's got it all, so he's done it. I want to see Khabib reign. I want to see his potential, but I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling with experience, Conor is going to catch him.
Conor to win?
I think Conor.
Knockout?
I think TKO. I don't think he'll knock out Khabib clean. I think he's too tough for that. I think it'll be a barrage of punches like Alvarez. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just watching. I think Conor would never take a fight. He picked this fight. Khabib didn't. Everyone wants Conor. Conor took this fight for a reason.
Yeah.
He took it quick after Khabib's last fight, so maybe he wanted to play with his weight, make him get back in camp straight away. So he maybe sees something a lot of people don't. On paper, Khabib should win, in my opinion. Khabib grabs that ankle, single leg, he's going to take him down. It's over. But it's just the fight starts standing with all the pressure, with all Conor's talk, with all the lights under him, and he's going to see Conor in that corner. Can the emotion get to Khabib? That's going to be the telling point.
McGregor it is for you. Knockout. Give me a round if he does indeed knock him out.
I think the first minute of the second.
Oh, first minute of the second. Rob, I know you're very much in.
But that doesn't mean who I want to win.
Yeah.
That's just my prediction.
All right. Well, I would actually like to see the smile wiped off Conor McGregor's face. I found him thoroughly unbearable these last 6 months. He's been pretty nauseating. That press conference, I thought he went too far on some of the remarks he made to Khabib, and he made it far too personal, in my opinion. I'd like to see Khabib win. I think, given the fact that Conor is going to be ring rusty, I do feel that. I think that coming back off a big layoff against such a dangerous opponent, I do think Khabib is going to get it done. I do believe that, and I think he's going to do it by submission, which is his modus operandum. Conor has a history of gassing in the second and third rounds and then getting a second wind. I think on that first come down, I think Khabib's going to take him. So maybe second, early parts of the third round.
So we've got McGregor. We've got Khabib. It's head over heart for me. I actually think I'm with you, Tam. I think Conor under the spotlight, whether he's got under Khabib's skin, whether Khabib's game plan goes out the window because emotion comes into it. I just think if Conor wins this, I'm with you in that, Rob. If Conor wins this, he's got to do it by the end of the third round. The later this goes, the more you fancy Khabib. I
agree, 2 rounds. I think if it goes further, Khabib. If Khabib gets Conor down early though, I'm going with Rob, the same thing. That weight, that pressure on top of him, he'll gas him. Just take the energy out of him, and then there's an arm. I mean, Khabib's got the power he's like a bear. I think the guy's got a strength of a heavyweight, so it's about strategies. I just believe Conor will implement his strategy smarter and quicker, and the fight starts standing. They're both dry, no sweat. So Conor is going to be fresher. He's going to be used to it more. He's come from the biggest fight in history of combat, Mayweather. So this is not going to faze him.
No.
Khabib's first time. So it's adrenaline at the end of the day. Put them in a gym, Khabib beats him 99 times out of 100. Put them in a gym fight. But under the lights, with the celebrities front row, with the hype, with the press conference on Thursday, with the weigh-in, with McGregor screaming in his face, with a bottle of whiskey in one hand, it's going to all add up, and I think Khabib's going to feel it. It's very hard. I mean, it's 90%, a lot of the time it's a mental game.
It is.
You could be a superstar fighter, but if mentally you're not ready, that's it.
Give us some permutations quickly, Tam, before we let you go. Some permutations. If Khabib wins, what's next for both fighters?
If Khabib wins, I think it'll be the Tony Ferguson fight. If he does win against Pettis, he'll just reign as champion. But don't be surprised if he does retire as a king. If he retires undefeated, the first ever undefeated UFC champion, he could do. He's proven it. If Conor wins, win or lose, he's got. So if Conor wins, I think he'll go for Woodley, welterweight. If he wins,
and
he'll for sure.
A 3-weight.
He'll try to become a 3-weight champion. If he loses, I think the Diaz trilogy. Ooh. Either way, Conor knows he'll go back, he'll smile, and he'll have another fight. Yeah. Khabib loses, where does he go from there? If he wins, he might retire. So either way, Khabib win or lose, you might see him the last time.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait for this fight. It is Khabib Nurmagomedov, 26-0 against Conor McGregor with a 21-3 record in MMA. I cannot wait for this fight. I know these boys are excited as well. 8 AM, round about that Dubai time on Sunday morning. UFC 229. We'll be watching it, and we sincerely hope you will be too.